our video lesson. So this video lesson is all about sets and what are we going to discuss? So we're going to discuss introduction to set, ways in describing set, notation of element, and cardinality of set. So let's start. So the question is, what is set? So when we say set, a set is a well-defined collection of objects. So remember the keyword well-defined collection of objects. So we can relate also the set in the word group. Sets are usually designated with capital letters. The objects in the set are called elements. The element is denoted by this symbol. Remember that? So elements of a set are usually designated with lowercase letters. So we use capital letters again in naming the set and lowercase letter when we are naming the elements. Elements can only be written once and are enclosed by braces and are separated by commas. So let's have an examples of set. Here I have different illustrations showing examples of set. First example is the set of books. Second, the set of students. Third, the set of dried flowers. And last is the set of COVID-19 vaccines. So all those representing a group. Another example, the collection of persons living in Arnold's house. So each person living in Arnold's house is an element of the set. Next, the collection of all regions in the Philippines is a set. So each region in the Philippines is an element of the set. So the elements are region 1, region 2, NCR, and so on. Next, the collection of counting number is a set. So each counting number is an element of set. So what are the elements of the set of counting numbers? So those are 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. And last, the collection of pencil in your briefcase is a set. So each pencil in your briefcase is an element of the set. So remember, class, that a set is a well-defined collection of objects. So how are we going to know if the set is a well-defined set? So group of objects are said to be well-defined if anyone agrees that object belongs to a group. So otherwise, it's not well-defined. So let's have an example of well-defined. So first example, the vowels in the English alphabet. So what are the elements of this set? So we have A, E, I, O, U. Okay? So we all know that those 5 letters are the vowels in the English alphabet. Next, the months of a year. So we have 12 months from January to December. Okay? And even numbers from 0 to 10. So those are example of well-defined sets. How about not well-defined sets? So here are the examples of not well-defined set. First is group of intelligent students. So for example, we have Rose, Marie, Anne. Okay. So it can be, those students can be intelligent to me, but to others is not. Okay. Another example, list of beautiful students in your school. Next, a basket of different delicious foods. So the food inside the basket can be delicious to me, but in others, maybe it's not. Okay, so that's how we define if a set is a well-defined or not well-defined. So if anyone is agree, so that is a well-defined. Then otherwise, that is not well-defined set. So what are the ways in describing sets? So we have 3 ways of describing a set. First is the verbal description method. So it is a method of describing sets in the form of sentence. So we have the examples. So set A is the set of natural number less than 6. Set B is the set of distinct letters in the word kindness. And set C is the odd numbers from 3 to 15. So those three sentences are example of verbal description methods or way in describing set in verbal description method. Next one is the roster method. So the roster method of specifying a set consists of surrounding the collection of elements with braces. Okay, so how are we going to describe a set, or how are we going to write a set in roster method? So here are the examples. So for example, the set of counting number from 1 to 5. Again, set of counting number from 1 to 5 will be written as, so braces and then the elements, the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and enclosed again by brace. So as you can see, elements are separated by comma. Okay? And the last way in describing set is the set builder method. So set builder method has a general form. So remember the general form? We have the brace, variable, vertical bar, descriptive statement, and enclosed again by brace. So the vertical bar in the set builder notation is always read as such that. So we're going to read this vertical line, this straight line as such that. Set builder method is frequently used when the roster method is either inappropriate or inadequate, because there are times that there is a set containing an infinite number of elements. For example, set of counting number. So set of counting number, so from 1 to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. So that is infinite. And it's difficult to write all of the numbers or all of the counting numbers. Okay? So we use the set builder method. So here the example of set builder method. So we're going to read this. So x such that x is less than 6 and x is a counting number. So meaning the value of x is less than 6 and it is a counting number. So the set of all counting number less than 6 are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we can also write it in the roster method like this. Okay? Because we can still write the elements. Another example. Set of x such that x is a fraction whose numerator is 1 and whose denominator is a counting number. So as you can see, we have the general form of set builder method. Variable, vertical bar, and then the descriptive. Okay, let's talk about notation of elements. So when we say notation of element, it is the symbol we use to represent the elements. So each object in the set called element of the set, and it's denoted by this symbol. So if x is an element of set A, so we're going to write it as x is an element of A. So if it is not an element, so we're going to write x is not an element of A. Means x is not an element of A. Okay? So let's have another examples. So if A is equal to 3, 17, 2, then 3 is an element of A, 17 is an element of A, 2 is an element of A, and 5 is not an element of A. But why? Because there is no 5 inside the set. Next, another example, if A is equal to set of x such that x is a prime number, then 5 is an element of A. Why? Because 5 is a prime number. And 6 is not an element of A because 6 is not a prime number. And last, we need to talk about the cardinality of set. So, cardinality of set A denoted by the notation n parenthesis A refers to the number of elements in a given set, or we can read it as the cardinality of A. So let's have an example. Given set A is equal to D, E, F, G, H. So the cardinality of set A is equal to 5. So we're just going to count the number of elements inside the set. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have 5 elements inside the set. Next, set M is the set of months in a year. So we're going to write it as cardinality of M is equal to 12 kasi we only have 12 months in a year. And as you can see, the letter inside the parentheses is changed because we're going to write inside the parentheses is the name of the set. Okay? And another example is for infinite set A, so we're going to write it as the cardinality of A is equal to infinity. So we're going to use the infinity sign. Okay, so I hope you learned something from our video lesson. So if you want to be updated, just click subscribe. Thank you. Bye.